The White Porch Conversations.
Hey, welcome to White Porch Conversations. We are here on School Street for White Porch Conversations episode something.
13.
You know? For real?
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
That is impressive. Look at the homework she did on the show. I bet none of our other guests have done that kind of homework on the show. You excited? You nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit nervous. So we have a guest with us today on the White Porch that is super nervous, has been talking about how nervous she is for days now. But last week we did our first student from FCC students. Today we'll have our second student from FCC students. Somebody that has become, as the word you just said, one of my besties. We bussin'.
Yeah, we
Me
are,
and you,
definitely.
right? We bussin'?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is my friend, my sister, almost like my daughter now. This is Shernoriah, or as some people know her, as Noria. What do you prefer?
Noria.
Noria? That's
Yeah.
your preference?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to know that. So I ain't going to call you Shernoriah anymore. Just Noria.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but you prefer Noria. So now you guys know. So Noria, you are in what
Ninth
grade?
grade.
Huh?
I'm a freshman. I'm in
Freshman, ninth grade. You are how old?
I'm 15.
15 years old, 15 years young. And one of the great stories of my life in the last year. How long have you been around our crew now? I don't know if you remember what month you started or not.
I do.
What month was that?
I remember the exact date.
Oh, tell us what day it was.
Well, the first time I came to church with Josie was August 8th.
Oh, so we're not even a year. We haven't even had our 1 year anniversary yet. And it feels like you've been in my life my whole life. Isn't it crazy? Do you feel that way about me? Because I feel that way about you. Like, although we've only been in each other's life, which we were around each other for softball when I coached.
I found a photo in my room the other day.
Did you?
I did.
But as far as where we are now, it does. I can't imagine my life without you now.
Oh.
I can't. So it's only been a few months. So let's see, August to September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So somewhere around 9 months we have had you in our life. And it has been an incredible ride, an incredible journey. I don't know that over the last 9 months that I've gotten to witness anybody with such a transformation in their life like we've been able to watch you with. Do you feel that way? Do you see the transformation? Do you feel the transformation? So let's talk about your story a little bit. And again, there's no wrong or right way to share your story. We just bring people on the porch so we can just talk. Tell us a little bit about you, what you have been through, your journey of faith, and everything pre-August. What date? August the what?
8th.
Pre-August the 8th. Tell us a little bit about Noria pre-August the 8th before we get into what God has been doing in your life.
A long time ago. Short-term memory loss. I don't know. It was just... I honestly don't know.
If you were to tell your story,
If I was to tell my story.
growing up,
Okay.
like how did you feel about
Growing
yourself? What are some of the struggles that you personally had to deal with? Because all of that creates a filter, and it creates everybody's experience with God is unique because of what we've gone through. So we want to see your journey through your lens, because there's somebody out there that every part of your story is going to touch a different life. So I just want to know, tell us a little bit of your story, some of your personal struggles, some of the things that you've gone through in your life.
So one of the biggest struggles had to be when my parents got divorced. It had to be.
Yeah.
Because I was really close with my dad. And when they got divorced, it was like they separated. But then he came back for a little bit. But they weren't married. So it was just it was weird.
Yeah.
But then a whole bunch of stuff happened. And he left again. And we still talk sometimes, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
when
like
he's
what
not.
kind of like so that's a story that so many people can relate to. Like that has unfortunately become the common thing more than it is. When I was growing up, even that would have been you would have been in the minority of people to go through what you've been through. But now you're actually in the majority. I mean, most people. So as a young lady growing up in that situation, missing your dad and going through that hurt and everything. What did that make you feel? Not about your parents, but like what struggles did that put you into?
It made me feel like empty. Like you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
it was like a void was left when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I guess I filled that void by like hanging out with the wrong people that I thought were making me happy, but weren't
Yeah.
really. They were just like influencing like me to do bad things. And
did you look back and see like that some of those things that you went through personally kind of pushed you into just rebellion in general? Like, do you see that in your own life, making bad decisions, almost self-destructing, kind of see that in your life? Because that's a common theme with people who have had to go through the difficulty and pain that you went through, is that self-destruction mode. Yeah. All right. So you started noticing that you felt empty, and then like what came out of that?
okay, I don't really know. It was just like soon like we got back in touch, and so it was like I was with him a lot, but we weren't like living together. So it was like I would spend my weekends with him, or me and my little sister would spend our weekends with him. And so it was like, I guess I grew to like be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because it was like I was still around him, but didn't see him on a daily basis.
Yeah. Now you talked to me just a moment ago before we started filming that your mom is your bestie.
She is.
Yeah.
I love my mom so
like
much.
she's been a rock for you, I guess.
Definitely.
Has been somebody there that you felt the love from, that has been an ear, has been a voice. So that's awesome to hear. I mean, you want to give a shout out to your mom right now?
Yeah.
Or anything? Just yeah.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, I just love my mom so much.
Yeah.
She's just always there.
Yeah. All right. So you go through the hurt, the difficult situation that you went through. You felt empty. You watched it push you away into just a rebellious state again, kind of self-destruction, poor decisions, poor friends, all of that stuff. And then we come to a change. So tell us about the change. Like, how did that happen? How did that get started for you?
It had to start when I met Josie.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. Because it was like... So it was still... So then after, they had they divorced again, like the second, like for real, like separated. And we still saw him. So after a little bit, we just like stopped seeing him. It was like no more contact.
Yeah.
And so I guess my outpour was softball. Like where I poured all the hurt and everything was softball. Yeah. And so then I made the varsity softball team
And
my
Josie
ninth grade
was
year.
helping coach.
And I met her in July. And I remember the day I met her. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember how we met. Because it was hilarious because she couldn't say my name right.
What did she call you? Do you remember?
No, it
But it was not Shernoriah.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Just call me Nunu. It's fine. I hate the nickname, but just call me that. And then, yeah.
I didn't even know that nickname.
Yeah.
So Nunu is another one that people
Definitely.
call you. Okay.
And so then I remember August 7th. We're gonna get there. August 7th is we were coming back on from a softball game Saturday morning, and she was like, "You're coming to church with me tomorrow," and I was like, "Okay." I was like, I mean, I had nothing else better to do. I was like, okay. I mean, that's fine. And then so like she gave me her number, and she texted me that night, and she was like, hey, you gonna be up by, it was like around like 8, and I was like, yeah, I'll be up and ready. And then she came and got me, and she went to somebody else's house, which was hilarious. And
She
then
went to the wrong house.
Yeah, and then she came and
Whose
got.
house did she go to? Because I
I
know
don't
where
even
you
know.
live. But
I don't even know.
was it near you?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And
You don't know
then-
your neighbors?
I do know my neighbors. I don't know what
You
house
don't
she
know
went
which one she
to.
was at? Okay. All right, because I'd be curious to know.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
And so
I
then
could just see her and, Coach Ellis, like, knocking on Coach Ellis's door.
I think that's whose house she
Was
went
it?
to.
That would
I
be
think
funny because
so.
Coach Ellis would be like, "Who are you?"
She
you
was
know?
like, is there a white car outside? And I was like, no.
"Oh yeah, that's
wasn't-
probably Coach Ellis's
No,
house
so I
because
was
he
thinking,
drives it."
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then after that, so we got, like, so yeah, came to church and met you. Well, again,
Yeah, met me.
I already
again.
knew who you were, like beforehand, and that's where, just
All right. And so tell us about now, like what the Lord has done in your life now since you got to that place where you got to have that encounter. Because again, this is what you need to remember. You're one of the great stories of not just Faith Community Church, but Lincoln County. I mean, for me, I'm just like, I watch how you've grown and how you've started loving the Lord and serving the Lord and serving the community. And I see a whole different just radiance to you, and people need to know how that came about and what the transition. So like if empty and rebellious is who you were, what is the name that you would define yourself as now?
I don't know. It was just like in the moment I decided that is who I didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely. I don't know if you remember this, but I've never told anyone this before. You're gonna be like the first person I ever tell.
Okay.
When you remember when I first came to church.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Like with Josie, and we were standing on front row, and you came and you talked to me,
Yeah.
and you said that God told you that was the reason I was here.
Yeah.
That's right there. That was when
That was it.
it was there.
Yeah, when the Lord gave you that word.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And then, like, for some reason, I didn't think about going to church, like, at all. And then we got to a softball game, and Josie was like, you want to come to youth? And I was like, sure. I mean, it's Wednesday night, sure. And so then it just came repetitive.
Yeah. And now you can see that the word that the Lord had for you was real, because now here you are just like in love with Jesus, on fire for anything and everything you can do for him, being the best you. So let's go back to the question then. I want you to think about this, okay? Because he can cut time out. So if you need a second, it's okay. We can cut, we can piece together, we can do all that stuff. Don't worry about any of that. So if empty and rebellious was who Noria was, who is Noria today? Tell me who you
Empty
are.
and rebellious. Okay. It might sound a little weird.
No, I don't think it's going to be
But-
weird. And I also don't, listen, the other thing I don't want you to feel, don't think that you're being prideful or arrogant no matter what name you use. This is important. Identity is key. And you are someone that I have watched identity change. Because I'll just tell you straight up, when I met you, I met somebody that I felt that felt worthless. Not that I felt you were worthless. I mean, I felt that you felt that you were not valuable, worthless, overlooked, insignificant. But now I think that that's changed in you. I think now that you know you do matter, you are significant, you are valuable, I think you've been able to see that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You about to cry? It's okay if you cry. It is okay if
I
you
told
cry.
myself I wasn't gonna
Yeah,
cry.
no, it is okay. So that's what I see. And if you want to use the same words as me, that's fine. But so when you look at you, I want you to tell everybody what you see.
I don't know. I see somebody that's just like, I don't know how to say it. Hold on. That's just, I'm not empty anymore. Like, I'm full of like
Full.
everything.
Come on.
it's just like I now know that there's like people I can talk to.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like I'm going through anything
feel alone.
Yeah.
That's a good
I don't
one.
feel alone anymore.
Yeah, come on.
And
You don't feel isolated.
yeah.
You feel together. You feel like you have people that are there to lift you up, encourage you. And that is an amazing feeling, especially for someone who, like you just said, somebody who went to the wrong friends and the wrong groups of people to fill a void that they weren't filling. And now you feel full because you've put yourself with some of the right voices and the right people in your life. All right? I like that. Give me one more word for you.
So, one more.
So you feel full now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, come on, I like that. That's a good one. I like that.
Guess you could say like valuable.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's one of the things I see in you.
yeah. Like, I'm not like what you said. I'm not like what I thought was worthless anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like I see, like, you know, like when we talked about not having confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like so much confidence now. It's just like I don't feel like embarrassed or like insecure to show who I am anymore.
Yeah.
Because I want people who were like me or are like me to just see that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what you're doing. You need to know that. That is exactly what you're doing. You know, one of the things that I told Josie, and I've told people this for years. I think I told Daniel and Hillary this. I know I've told Josie this. I've told dozens of youth pastors that I was able to mentor and talk with. That when it comes to seeing a move of God in your students, I said what usually happens is you usually have 2 or 3 students who get it. And then things just begin to snowball. Like I tell everybody, I'm like, it's never like anything that I did. It was never I preached a good sermon and that started it, or, you know, nothing on my end. It was always there was a student or a group of a few students, always just a few. I've never seen it happen like just everybody all at once. It would start with just a few students who started to get it, you know, fall in love with Jesus. That became their world. And like you said, you could just see everything about them change. And it changes the whole dynamic of your students, your student ministry, your school system, the group of people. And that's what I see. You're one of those people, like, for sure, that like may have been like, man, I don't know how God could ever, you know, do anything with me, but he is, like, big time. You know, and they may not even all be people you hang out with. They may not all be people that you talk with, but everybody that's there now and the momentum that you're seeing with students, a lot of it is because they're seeing what the Lord has done in you. And they're hungry for what you have. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that in you. And I celebrate that publicly right now, that I've watched somebody. Listen, if you're out there and you're wondering if God really changes lives, I'm sitting on a porch with somebody that God has literally changed her life. And she has gone, when we say from death to life, like that's what I've watched you go to from. I saw someone, you were never, you know, you were always sweet and kind. And I'm sure your mom would disagree with this. But when I was coaching you in ball, man, you were a pleasure. I mean, you were awesome. But I saw somebody who wasn't really alive, you know, and I saw somebody who was just going through the motions, and you were trying to find things to fill those voids and those gaps. Softball being one of those things, where now you've got it down. Now you get it. Mm-hmm. Fill my life with the right thing first, and all of those other things will begin to be more joyful in my life. And so that's what you're doing, and I'm watching you walk in that. So I celebrate your life. So, like, if you could tell, especially your fellow students right now, your peers, there's going to be people who watch that aren't students, but maybe what you say is going to mean something to them as well. But if you were to tell people one thing right now that you would want them to know about Jesus, about your experience with Jesus, what's the most important thing that you feel like you could tell them?
Hold on. Okay, I gotta think about that because that's hard.
Yeah.
So what is one thing I would tell them?
Yeah, like just picture it this way. If there's somebody watching that has gone through what you've gone through, felt like you felt, you know, struggled in the same ways that you have struggled. Because that's the thing. We've all struggled. That's part of all of our lives. It's just a little different for you than it is for me. But then sometimes we'll hear a story from somebody that we're like, I can relate to that. I can connect with that. So if you were to talk to somebody that has been through what you've been through, felt like you have felt, and you wanted to tell them something about Jesus, what would you tell them? No wrong answer. What do you wish somebody had told you in your worst day? Think about your worst days that you had.
Ooh, those.
What would you say? Man, I wish somebody had come and told me this about Jesus.
That he's always there.
Yeah.
Like, whenever, it's like you can be sad, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But you just gotta pray about it.
Mm-hmm. You gotta know he's with you in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So true. Because I think, when you started talking about the feeling of being alone and isolated, that's one of the big things that I have seen change in your life, that you do know now that you're not alone, and that you're not fighting alone. You're not praying to nobody. You're not, any of those things. But that you do have something and somebody that is with you always, that is listening, that cares about you, that loves you. So there you have it, guys. You heard it from her. If you're at your worst day, she wants you to know that you are not alone. He is there with you. And sometimes you just got to pray about it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to pray about it, right? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for talking with us today. We love you.
I love you.
We love you more than you'll ever know. And listen, I want you guys to celebrate these stories. These students getting on here. This is not easy, is it? It's not comfortable. Being vulnerable publicly to people sometimes and trying to open those places up. But these students, man, the last couple of weeks, they have stepped out with some real boldness to get on here and to say, yeah, I would love to share some of my story, love to share about what Jesus has done in my life. And I want you to help me celebrate them. If you see Shernoriah or Noria, if you see Noria out and about in town or whatever at the church, and you run into her, I want you to wrap your arms around this awesome young woman of God and tell her how proud you are of her. One of the big things about me is I'm an identity guy. I believe a lot in the power of identity. In fact, we talked about that this morning in our Kingdom Builders meeting, a lot about having positive and the correct identity. And it is amazing to see somebody that has gone through that transformation, where I know that you had a negative identity and now you are full of life and joy and a fulfillment that you've never had before, and that identity that you're carrying now is so beautiful. So I want you to celebrate that with me. She won the game ball this week. For all of her serving the church, doing such an awesome job serving people, loving on people. I even had somebody tell me, I didn't know this part of it, I had somebody tell me the other day that you went down and helped in nursery.
You didn't know that?
No, come on, girl.
Oh, I thought you knew that.
No, that was one I didn't even know about. That's always good when you're doing stuff.
Easter.
Yeah, so come on, doing some great stuff for Jesus. And serving the student ministry every week. She's always there from the moment school gets out till service starts, helping set up, do whatever she can do. So I want you guys to celebrate Noria with me. And let's just celebrate not only just her being her, but what Jesus is doing in her life. We love you and we're proud of you. And thank you for sharing. I know it's tough getting out and being publicly open sometimes, but there's somebody that needs your testimony. You need to always remember that. There's someone that needs your testimony, because they've been through some of the stuff you've been through, and what you have seen God do in your life, you can actually give to them. So keep doing that, all right? All right. You want to say anything else before we go?
Okay. 1, come to the Addams family. Tickets are selling now.
3 weeks in a row we've gotten a little bit of...
We want to have a full house. That's why.
Yeah.
We got to tell everybody. And 2, she told me to do this, so I'm going to keep my promise. Shout out to Josie.
Yep.
I love her. She's my bestie. And she's always there.
And come on Wednesdays.
Yes, and come on Wednesdays.
Yeah, do a little plug for
Last
her.
Wednesday of every month, we have experience night.
And that's tonight.
Yes,
this
it
month.
is.
Yeah, we got experience
tonight.
tonight. Got baptism.
We do.
Free
excited.
pelicans. So by the time they listen to this, that'll be over.
Yeah,
so
it'll
they'll
be
just
over, so-
man, they'll be so mad that they missed out on
But you
that.
can come to the next
But
one.
you can come to the next one. We're
Yeah.
trying to get them wanting that next one. So, but
Okay.
meet every Wednesday at 7.
Got 5 baptisms today.
Come on.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. We love Noria. Thank you guys for joining us on the White Porch. Next week, I got somebody on my heart that I've been really excited about getting to be on the White Porch with me. I won't tell you who it is. I'll try to keep you a little curious of who it's going to be, but next week's going to be awesome as well. But thank you for being with us on this Thursday night. We will see you guys next Thursday. It's Wednesday, but we're filming on Wednesday, but we're showing it on Thursday. So when everybody sees that, they'll think it's Thursday. So yeah, I appreciate her though. She see what she's doing. She's trying to keep me not looking like a dummy.
I think you said curious a minute ago.
Curious?
Yeah, isn't it curious? I don't think you said curious. You said like.
Did I say curious?
Yeah.
I don't know. Aaron will have to
You
go back and
didn't say-
listen.
I don't think you said curious.
Okay.
You said like curious.
Curious.
Or
Yeah.
curious.
I'm not the most articulate speaker, so that's not my gift.